Hey, what's up? My name is Jason Lanham. I've been a videographer and a marketer for about a decade now, and I've also been working with GC and home building clients for about a half a decade. And this is the $10 million marketing blueprint for home builders. So I kind of took all of my kind of theories and things that I've tested over the years with clients and results that I've seen from my clients and other smart marketing companies' clients, and kind of pulled together a top, middle, and bottom of funnel, full funnel marketing strategy that I think is really killer, and I've seen some killer results for. So let's kind of jump right on in. So before we jump in, if you don't mind subscribing, hitting the bell, that would be super cool. If you think this is going to be something beneficial for anybody that you know, please share this video. I appreciate that totally. Okay, so to jump in, innovative home builders take over their market. And with competition increasing like crazy, how do you build a neighborhood around your competition? Well, they just kind of watch you do it and they can't do anything about it, right? I'm going to walk you through the blueprint in detail that kind of take over your market as a home builder. This isn't a pitch deck. This is a battlefield strategy. There's been 14% more custom home builders year after year for the past 3 years. That means like high traffic business areas, places like, the Scottsdale, Phoenix area, the Detroit market, anywhere in Florida really, Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas. A lot of these places are just such hot spots for so many custom luxury and semi-custom home builders that are just thriving. So this blueprint is your weapon. What this blueprint covers: strategic content creation system, monthly video production workflow, organic posting strategy for Instagram and TikTok, Google ads for high intent leads, conversion optimized landing page designs and ideas and kind of things that just work for landing pages, DSL integration for trust building, and then also just leads tracking and follow-up. This is going to be really raw. This isn't none of like my other type of videos where there's nice editing and all that. This is just really raw information and then just kind of walking through it. So let's hop into the illusion of marketing, right? Most builders think marketing means just posting more pretty house videos and photos. They hire videographers, maybe run a few ads, they may post a couple drone reels a month. That's not really strategy. It's kind of just more decoration, right? It's kind of like, oh, I have to do this kind of, so I'm just going to kind of like afterthought do it. And here's the thing, millennials are your buyers, whether you like it or not. They literally built 38% of the custom home builds in 2024. That means they're nearly half of your target audience. They're nearly half of your customer base. And millennials are anywhere from 30 to 43 years old. And most of them that are building homes are between 34 and 43. It's kind of crazy to think that. But here's the thing, millennials inherently need to trust more. They're a little insecure, a little skeptical. So you got to have a digital presence that feels like leadership, that builds trust, and it nurtures your target audience. And that way they feel comfortable and trusting, not just, they don't just like the way it looks. They like the way that your brand feels and makes them feel. And that's important. So let's kind of jump into the nitty gritty strategy now. So for content strategy, you need 3 content weapons. You need the trending viral content, right? This is the sexy drone videos, house walkthroughs, home reveal type videos that are really just to capture attention and some authority. These are the ones that just pop off and get hundreds of thousands or millions of views on TikTok and Instagram. Those are still a key pillar of marketing, and they're very important to have. But next, you need some story content, right? You need something to give your company some substance, something for people to latch onto. If people, not many people would watch a movie for just how pretty the visuals are. There's got to be a story to sit down for 2 hours to watch it, right? It's the same thing with your brand. So you need people to believe in you and not just your work. So it's like, how can you create stories? How can you create a brand story? How can you personify the brand? How can you personify these home builds and add characteristics that really just build a story for people to want to watch your content over and over and over again? And then also you need detail and process content. So it's a very intricate thing in building custom homes or luxury homes, right? That has high-end materials, custom materials, and things that people really want to see that they don't get to see too often. So how can you show them and build trust even more? By showing the craftsmanship and the details. And I think that goes a long way in this market to build trust. With this mix, and when you're doing it with a purpose, you no longer compete for attention, you own the attention. So I'm going to kind of walk you through a couple content ideas, not content ideas. This is actual content that, my team has created. So this is like vacation, like a couple vacation properties that we just kind of slapped in. This stuff is just like super clean, sexy content, right? Like this is the stuff that captures eyeballs, captures attention. Vacation Grid's a great company for investing in vacation properties, by the way. They're freaking awesome. This is more story content, but this is actually one of my reels talking to custom home builders, right? So how can you tell stories, incorporate some B-roll? It doesn't have to be talking head at all. This can be done in more like narrative mini doc style. It can be done in fast-paced social style stories, things like that, right? There's a million ways to do it, but it's a good way to tell stories and demand authority as well. And then here's some like process content, right? Like, this is some content that we've got that just kind of shows off is some, for the sake of the video, I don't have the voiceover on, but you can kind of see like some intricate process of like the framing and go from there. To move on. So for the video production and content day workflow, the whole thing is like you are a builder and now a builder and a businessman. So being a content creator on top of it is way too many jobs at once, right? And you should focus on the craftsmanship and the business to keep driving in revenue, profit, and then build a team and build better houses, correct? So how can we condense the content creation timeline while still keeping the uphold like the best professionalism possible? So that is the content day concept, right? One day a month, you shoot 8 videos. So you do one strategic video meeting a month, and you shoot one day, you create 8 core videos across the 3 different pillars, and then you have it edited and formatted for the platform that it's going on. Places like LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, you might want to do a couple little different things, even with the same video to maximize their results. So to kind of piggyback off that, let's do the posting strategy. This is where it all lands, right? So this would help. If you do 8 videos in one day, now you have 2 videos to post a week across Instagram and TikTok. Every reel would then go to your Instagram stories as well. Then you should at least post 1 photo carousel weekly. I think that's a really, really good way to mix it up. And this can be just 3D design renderings. This can be blueprint renderings. This could be construction process carousels. They could be finished home carousels. Whatever it is, photo carousels are getting just as much push for the algorithm on Instagram as videos and reels right now. If you're doing both 3 times a week, you're going to be getting push from Instagram to get more viewers onto your content. And then Instagram has a lot more trust and client perception. And then TikTok's a little more exposure, followers, and hype. Most of your buyers are not going to come from TikTok. Most of your buyers are going to come from Instagram. You're not posting, you're programming perception by doing all this, right? So next to kind of, hop off the organic train and hop onto the paid ads train. Obviously people know there's Google and there's Meta. Those are kind of the big 2 kids on the block. Google ads, for me, bar none better. Because here's the thing, people don't just get convinced casually to build a $10 million home. It's something they're planning to do, right? They already have it in their plans. So like that's where organic content comes in to help kind of like, oh, who do I trust and who builds cool stuff and stuff that fits my style? That's where the organic comes in. But when you go to paid ads, I just haven't seen like Facebook, Instagram, Meta ads work as well because you're not really gonna just like fully convince someone like a t-shirt store. It's not an e-com store where it's like, oh, I really like this t-shirt and I've seen their ads a bunch, so okay, now I'm gonna buy a couple shirts. When you're building a $2, $5, $10, $20, $30 million custom home, that's not the methodology. That's not how people are being sold. They're gonna be looking for you. So they'll do custom home builder near me, luxury home builder near me, home builder near me, and then Google rank at the top, then they click. Or they've seen your content on TikTok and Instagram, or vice versa, either or, and then they look up your name on Google, and then you have an ad that's sponsored at the top. That way no one else is taking the spot over you ever. That is the strategy for ads. It's high intent leads. We're not trying to like push and convince people. They're already looking for you. They're already going to be your better buyer base. Another thing for ads is a lot of people, like so many conversations, people are like, oh, what's going to be my average cost per click? As a home builder, that does not matter. Your cost per click does not matter. You're building $10 million homes. So like, why would you care about the cost per click? You should care about cost per booked call, the cost per lead, and the cost per conversion for selling. Right? Those should be really the cost per closed deal is the only metric you should really care about, in my opinion. But I understand that like the cost per lead or the cost per book call is kind of like a close second behind that. Cost per click means nothing because your product is very, very, very high ticket, high commitment with a long sales process. So your cost per click is just kind of irrelevant. It's not, like I said, it's not an e-com store for t-shirts where you're like, oh, I need to have my cost per click under $2 because of X, Y, and Z. It's a different ballgame. You're not selling a $40 t-shirt. You're selling a $10 million home. It's a very, 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 very different game. So I would encourage getting completely rid of that. Get that out of your mind. Don't worry about cost per click. Hey, if you want to ask in this zip code or in this metropolis, what's an average cost per lead or cost per conversion that you've seen? And even then, like cost per conversion, like every company has a different sales process and maybe they have different timelines. Someone wants a home built within 8 months, they want to break ground, but this other company's only, is booked out for 2 years. Well, then maybe they had a really quality lead, but they cannot close them because they didn't have the time frame that the buyer wants. There's so many things that go into ads outside of just like, what's the basic number of the ad? And so that's my main thing when I talk to people about this stuff, just like focus on what matters. And a lot of times people just don't focus on what matters. They don't understand, and that's okay. That's why I'm here to help teach you. So we've been rambling on this for a while. Let's move on. It's just not a spray and pray advertising. It's like a sniper, right? Like this takes a little bit of patience. You're going to watch ad spend go for a bit, and you're going to be like, okay, well, one of these deals is going to come through. And when it does, snipe them. It's not, like I said, it's not an e-com store selling t-shirts. It's a different ball game. You're going to be spending more to get the better leads to then close the bigger deal. And if it costs you 10 grand on ads to close a deal at $10 million, you've paid for your marketing for the next half decade. It's crazy how this market works, right? So that's the methodology. That's the paid ads thing, the high intent buyer hunting that I'm trying to program. And then I talk to every single person that I talk to about this stuff. That made no sense, but we're going to leave it in because this video is raw. So moving on. Landing pages built to convert, right? So I think like you need to have a VSL, video sales letter, that's kind of mixed with a brand story that kind of earns trust. And I think because they can then inform people about the home builder process that you go through or what to expect, but then you also give them more of an inside look at who you are as a company, and then also reinforce it with supporting content to show how great your work is. If you can kind of create that video piece that's done really concisely on a landing page, the sales process is going to be so much easier for you. And then also like showcase some of your gallery on signature projects. And then the last thing is like you want a simple and clear way to capture people's information, right? People shouldn't have to look for where to put their contact information in. You should have some kind of, pop-up if they've been sitting on that screen for too long. And it shouldn't be like scrolling like crazy down to the bottom per se. Or if it does have to go through a lot of information, which I don't necessarily agree with, how concise can you be on your landing page? At least have a pop-up, at a marker of time, right? So if someone's been on the site for 30 seconds, there's a pop-up. They've been on for 3 minutes, put up another pop-up. Also here, I have a link to a landing page. It's a little bit of a different landing page. This is for like property investments, but I think it's really good, like representative of what a landing page could look like. So this is like Property Grid, a great company, by the way. Property Grid's freaking awesome. And so they have like El Salvador investments for people to invest in like houses and developments and projects. So they kind of have like this video. Then they have like a why El Salvador video that's kind of like the brand story, so to speak, of like getting people to connect on like what's happening here. Why would you want to invest here, with a bunch of pretty, shots all the way around. It's probably not going to load. It's taking forever, but it has, it kind of convinces people through that. And then it's like, oh, here's your opportunities. They're building a whole city. You can invest in the city, in certain parts of the city, in the medical campus. When you scroll down, like here's like a thing to buy lots at this pretty soon to be like resort town. There's so much information. There's a video walking you through the information, what you could be investing in, what the options are. And then there's like a few different ways to have things pop up, like this is how they're going to get your attention. So anywho, that's just an example of a good landing page. Like I said, it's not like exactly like it would be a little different as a home builder, but this is just a great idea just to have like, hey, like you see there's lots of information, lots of videos done in a concise manner that incentivizes people from a story perspective and a detail perspective to want to invest or build in these locations. And then just to kind of continue why this wins in 2025, because marketing without strategy is just kind of a noise, right? Like, you kind of just like in the noise. If there's no strategy, there's no point, there's no way to target top, middle, and bottom of funnel. And also a lot of home builders are kind of getting in this thing where they're becoming like half marketing company, half home builder. And you have to play the game in order to compete with them or win against them, right? And so my thing is like, there's a lot of great home builders out there that don't want to play this marketing game or don't know how to play the marketing game, and you guys are losing. And these legacy companies are going to start going out of business because the new kids on the block or companies are conforming to act like the new kids on the block in a very digital age and pushing to win. And that is the playground to push to win. And really, if you can build a great perception that's aligned with great craftsmanship, you can dominate your market. If you can say, the build quality's here, we can show it, and the marketing's here, we can show it. There's no reason why you don't dominate, because quality always wins at the end of the day. And a lot of these loud marketing home builder companies don't always build the best quality of homes. There's some shoddy contractors that work for them or things like that there's just a lot of things that get overlooked. And then people spend a lot of money on a home for the build quality to be crap. And then this is also the last reason why this wins in 2025, because this is a true full funnel marketing system. This is top, middle, and bottom of funnel. And this is a way to get people's attention, whether you're doing organic, paid, and then nurturing them into the sales process. So that's a huge, huge thing of like, some companies do one or the other really well, but this is a top to bottom marketing funnel that really, 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 really works. So to close this is, I'm sure this is the part that you were waiting for. It's like, when is he going to sell me? I'm not really going to sell you, but what I'm going to say is we do have slots open. We take on about 2 to 3 new marketing clients monthly. Sometimes it's the full top, middle, bottom funnel, like I showed you in this video. Sometimes they just need a piece of it. They just need the organic content, or they need the ads, or they don't know how to nurture their leads very well. So we'll do the landing page and the lead nurturing for them. But we usually do about 2 to 3 openings per month right now. We're looking to take on more people to partner with long term. That'd be amazing. And then also, I'm taking on 2 consulting clients monthly. So if you just want to work with me, learn how to do this for yourself, then I can do a free audit, help you strategize, fill in the gaps, and kind of teach you every step of the way, or teach you and your core team throughout every step of the way, and then kind of set you guys running from there. So if you have any interest in that, there's a link to click in the description. I would love to talk to you guys and see how I can help in any way, shape, or form. With that being said, I won't take any more of your time. I appreciate you watching. Keep winning. Peace.